Fate, a classic dungeon crawling, quest giving fantasy game from 2005. If you're like me, you spent hours as a kid trying out different builds and never beating the game, so that made me wonder, with all the builds, weapons, and strategies there are, can you beat Fate on the hardest difficulty by just punching the enemies? Now, this is not a tryhard series. I will not be macroing the best. I may die, and I'm doing voiceover because this is a 13-hour long game to beat with weapons. This may take twice as long with just punching. I will usually be in a call with friends while I play. This is why, like I said, it's going to be a voiceover series. So there may be some small cuts during the beginning of the game, but that is all that there will be before we enter the dungeons. I'm just going to take a quick moment to say, if you are intrigued by this series and want to see more of it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, give me some tips in the comments, or just let me know what you want to see in general. Back to it. I will speed up gameplay quite a bit from time to time, as the game is quite grindy at points, especially with this type of playthrough. Going forward, we will speed up through those sections, really focus on big moments, level ups, or anything intense that may happen. As you can see on the screen, we already started preparing for a run by buying a fishing rod. This will allow us to start our run off by fishing. Yes, fishing. Fishing is great in this game because it can allow us to transform our pet into powerful creatures using the fish we catch, important later, but also gemstones we can use or sell, as well as some valuable weapons. Speaking of weapons, we pull a valuable one. Because I am in a Discord most of the time when I'm playing this game and recording, I can take what my friends say out of context and do stuff that makes me laugh. I'm not going to edit that out. No. No, 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 no. How much is this sword worth? 'Cause I think I just beat the early game already, fishing for 3 minutes.
I would be canceled so far. Let me make sure there's nothing incriminating. before I leave, but I'm about ready to leave.
322 unchecked.
Because this is when I taught Greece.
God, they're wasting my time.
I'm not being an idiot here. I mean, I am an idiot.
I fished 3 items in this game. The first 2 were regular fish. The third one was a 13,000 gold sword. We are quite lucky because this weapon has a few good enchantments. Enchantments are abilities that weapons and items can have that either boost positively or negatively their stats or damage. Which, yes, I know we can't use this weapon, but we can sell for a crazy amount of gold for early in this game. So we're going to go to the gambler who sells enchanted items for a lower rate. But the offset is we don't know what the enchantments are until we buy the item. What's neat about this game is the little extra quests are not actually required to beat the game, but we are going to pick up all the quests we're allowed to take because this is going to be a grind and we're going to need all the experience and fame that we can get. Now that we're looted up and quested up, let's head into the dungeon and see how the beginning of our journey goes. So, as you can see, the beginning of this game is pretty straightforward. We're running around, opening chests, grabbing some loot, just running into and attacking any barrel or crate urn that we see just to get a little extra gold. And then eventually we plan to run into some monsters and give them the good old 1-2. Yeah, that's not going well. As you can see, our damage is atrocious and our dexterity isn't great either, so early we need to improve 2 things. First is dexterity. This will allow our attacks to hit more often while allowing us to dodge our opponent's attacks, which when we're hitting for 1 to 2 damage at a time, not being hit in general is pretty great. The other thing we need to improve is our critical strike chance. Obviously, the more we can double our damage by hitting crits while we have low damage, the more damage we're obviously going to do, and the quicker we can take down monsters and improve through the game. Now, how do we upgrade our dexterity and our critical hit chance? First way is by leveling up. How this works is when you level up, you get 5 character skill points and 2 weapon skill points. Obviously, we can't use any weapons, so we're going to put all of our skill points into critical strike. Now, there is an option for a shield, which will let us block more, but right now we need to maximize our damage instead of minimizing the amount of times we are getting hit. The second way to get weapons points is to get more renown. How this works is if we complete quests, we get experience and fame, and with that fame we can level up our how known our character is, to put it in layman's terms. Other ways to get these points is by defeating named monsters. Bosses for quests are usually named monsters, but you can also find them not associated with the quest throughout the game. And these monsters are just like the boss monsters in quests, a lot more difficult to face. They may be able to summon, they may just do a bunch of damage, or in some instances have crazy resistances. But we'll learn more about those a little bit later in the game. Now, scattered throughout the game and randomly spawning on the floors of the dungeon are these fate statues, and what happens is you can pray to these statues and it may give you positive stats, it could give you negative stats, or it could give you items. In this case, it gave us 2 gemstones, which on paper look good. They say plus 10 fire damage and 40% fire resistance. The problem is you only get the fire damage if you equip it onto a weapon, because we're just giving them these hands. We don't have any weapons to equip them to, so they're kind of useless offensively for us. So right now we're doing little damage and we are taking lots of damage. So how do we clear these dungeons? Well, if you've been paying attention to the 2x speed video going in the background, sometimes 3x speed, we are feeding our pet fish. This has allowed our pet to grow into these big monsters with way better stats than it should have at this point in the game, which has really helped us clear these dungeons, get some experience, and get some levels underneath our belt. Without the fishing mechanic in this game, I don't think this challenge would be possible at all. Now, per our last level up, we're at about 8 points in critical strike chance, which might seem like a lot, but right now we're actually less than 10% critical strike per auto attack, and we're hitting maybe 1 out of every 4 or 5 times if we're lucky. So really, we're critting once in a blue moon at this point, so it's going to be pretty much a struggle to do damage for most of this game. Thank God we have our pet. Now it's at this point on leveling up to level 3 I make a mistake that cost me a lot of gold in the long run, and I still haven't fixed it as of now because I keep forgetting to. I really need to invest that 5 remaining skill points on my character sheet into magic so I can do a minor healing spell, which will allow me to save on potions and make the game a little bit more grindier at some points. Not, having potions, but it saved me a lot of gold in the long run for weapons, gemstones, or even any other equipment that I might need. Now, unfortunately, none of our quests could be completed on floor 1, so we have to go to floor 2, and this is where we will encounter our first named enemy / quest enemy. As you can see, he's got a little red glow around him, he's got a fancy name, and he's kind of a jerk. So I did cut right here because I tried to fight him, and it was probably about 3 minutes straight of me missing punches and going through my potions because we do no damage. And we have no stats. I can't do any damage to this guy, and he's kicking the crap out of me. So I made the heroic decision to tactfully retreat and get some more resources and come back to fight him in a minute. Alright, we're potioned up, we're heading back in to fight him, we are fully healed. Now the problem is we still do no damage, so while you are watching this, these clips of me trying to fight him, please remember this is at 5x speed, and it is still 45 to 50 seconds straight of us fighting him and not killing him for a while. This is not including the 3-4 minutes of me trying to fight him earlier. This is a pain, and I regret every decision I made in regards to starting this challenge already. Okay, we finally defeat him, we get the little pop-up on the quest, and this gives us enough fame to get 2 more skill points as I stated earlier. So we're going to throw those in critical strike chance, and just pray that eventually we can get some better gear and get some levels and actually be able to do damage. Another mistake that I've made early on in this playthrough, and I will continue to make in the next couple of episodes, is I'm not sending my pet to town when they're on low health. I am on floor 2. It does not take very long for them to come back with full health. I can do that and run around a bit instead of wasting potions, and also get a little bit of gold for the stuff that I have on them. Like I said, not perfect macro, not even decent macro. Yeah.
Did somebody save me, Lo?
Oh, let's get our boy Jacoby here. Jacoby, you playing?
My E key doesn't work, so probably not.
Just
And- No, like rebind it. How?
So you know
The
how,
key.
like,
Uh-huh.
the E key does something in the game? Make a
No,
different
no,
key
no.
do that.
No, like if I'm typing a sentence, I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh, sorry.
Easy fix.
No, you're good.
Oh, I get
No,
an
you're good,
easy fix. Nice.
brother. E.
Wait, so you're saying that's what I should roll?
And honestly, at this point, I've been grinding the game for about 55 minutes total. I think it may have actually been 45. Don't quote me on that. And I just needed a quick break from the dungeon crawling and grinding aspect of it. So I decided to fish for a little bit to get a nice inventory full. And that's where I'm going to call this episode. So, like I said, if you are intrigued by the series, like, comment, subscribe, or don't. I don't care. We're all adults. It's not my problem. I'm doing this for fun, not for you. And yeah, just let me know changes, advice, tips, tricks, insults. I don't care, but you know, everything's welcome. Bye.